Hello, my name is Eunice Toh, and I'm a dual title PhD candidate in English and African American Studies. I'm working on a dissertation project titled Black Cosmo-cologies, Rebirth and Renaissance in the Long 19th Century. This dissertation argues that the politics and aesthetics of Black ecologies and literary narratives illustrate alternate cosmologies of being and ways of knowing in this world. In looking beyond ecology, as simply metaphorical in literature, I hope to show how Black ecology limns or haunts questions of liberation, world-making, and humanism in the writings of American authors. I locate these themes within the long 19th century with a keen focus on Black landscape ecologies as explored in the capaciously defined genre of American literature. By replacing the E in ecology with Cosmo, a Black cosmocology invites us to think of the metaphysical and the material together. My investment in cosmology as a framework to approach 19th century American literary studies is in line with recent scholarship across the fields of ethnic studies, posthumanism, and philosophy, interested in exploring cosmologies that encompass both science and faith in tandem. My work scrutinizes one Eurocentric cosmology in particular, the Renaissance. While there are numerous critics who have interrogated the American and Harlem Renaissances from national, race, or gendered points of view, I hope to rethink these literary renaissances from a direction of cosmocology. For instance, in the poem Exhortation, Summer 1919, Claude McKay writes about the Red Summer of that year, which saw heightened racial violence across the continental United States. In the poem, the speaker declares, "For the new birth rends the old earth." The new birth here is described as an earthquake, which can be read both geologically while also alluding to the eruptive literary and artistic movements of the Harlem Renaissance as a response to the acts of white supremacist violence. Thus, I argue that conceiving of the writings and politics of Renaissance works in ecological terms might help us better expand our understanding of Renaissances as periods of rebirth and renewal. A Black cosmocology focus allows us to excavate the dormancy that lies beneath the surfaces, and in so doing engenders rupturing of the long 19th century's traditional periodization. Black cosmocologies is interested in topographies and moves from groundwork to soil to the subterranean and to grassroots, each distinctly explored in the project's chapters. My first chapter on groundwork considers how an ecological practice of archival research might add to methodologies of Black recovery. In particular, I am interested in assessing how origin stories in African American literature are also organic stories. In my second chapter on soil, I look at how Black writers envision alternate forms of citizenship or belonging in the 19th century. The chronotype of soil allows us to consider the complicated relationship between Black emigration ecologies and settler colonial politics. My third chapter, The Subterranean, digs further into the earth by focusing on the relationship between Blackness and the underground, a space often associated with precarious labor and resource extraction. Finally, my last chapter turns to grassroots, an important term in social movements, to explore Black internationalism from an ecological standpoint. Ultimately, what this project hopes to provide is a clearer view of how the material and metaphysical valences of Black cosmocologies can nuance utopic, post-human understandings of a current period. Thank you to the graduate exhibition for this opportunity, and thank you to my committee members for all your feedback and advice.